Hi, everybody. It's Rod from TonysPicks coming at you with the CFL report here for Week 12. 4 games on the slate, one on Thursday, one on Friday, and a doubleheader on Saturday here. This week in the CFL action, we've got some injury news to look at. The Redblacks without Drew Brown. Crum will be making the start there for the Redblacks. But just before we get to that CFL action, I want to say, hey, if you're new to Tony's Picks, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here joining me on the CFL report. Also looking for the best that I'm rolling with this week in the CFL. Go find my CFL game of the month over at TonysPicks.com. Quick link in the description gets you on over to find that best play I got rolling in the month of August. Absolutely love this section to hammer your bookie. All right, let's get into this Week 12 CFL action. First game we're looking at, as I said, starts here on Thursday, and we got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers taking on the Montreal Alouettes. The Alouettes got whooped last time out playing BC in BC. Now you got to come into back in your home park at least, but one side of the country back home to Montreal on a short week here. I'm going to take on a Winnipeg squad that's definitely starting to pick up their play. Playing much better football. Calero's looking good. Strebler, if they want, on third down situations, stepping up defensively, stepping up on the Winnipeg side of things. Still a little bit of work to be done defensively, I think, on this Winnipeg squad, but especially through the air. Secondary is not the best. They're definitely going to need some work moving forward the rest of the season, is this Winnipeg squad. But no worries. Montreal's going to have a tough task chucking that ball. Evans back at the helm there for Montreal, and hey, they mustered up 18 points in that game against BC. I think Winnipeg can step up in this one. You also look at Montreal this year off of non-conference games. Hey, well, 0-5 ATS. And then as I alluded to, this Montreal squad has not been good against defenses that allow a lot of passing yards through the air. If you can attack this Winnipeg team through the air, well, then you can beat them easily. But this Montreal team, just with the QB injuries they're dealing with, without their starter, without Bethel Thompson, it's just a tough ask because this Winnipeg squad been giving up over 8.3 yards per play through the air this season. So you can beat the Bombers in that secondary. You definitely will be right there in this game. But the problem is the Montreal squad over the last 2 seasons versus secondaries that give it up 0-11 ATS. Give me the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Lay the 6 here in this one on Friday night. That wraps up game 1. Stick around as we head on into Friday night's action. Edmonton taking on Ottawa. All right, let's get into it. Friday night action here between the Edmonton Elks and the Ottawa Redblacks. Bad news for the Ottawa Redblacks. Hey, Drew Brown out for this one here on Friday night. That means Crum will be making the start for the Redblacks. And that's going to be a tough task against an Elks squad that's, hey, over the last 3 games starting to pick it up defensively, only allowing 365 yards of offense, only allowing 6.4 yards per play over the last 3 games, and only allowing 23.3 points to their opponents over the last 3. And guess what? That's equated to 3 wins for this Elks squad. With Cody Fajardo at the helm, we're starting to see some consistency from this Elks squad, especially defensively. Slowly as things go along offensively, but picking it up as well. Averaging 355 yards of offense, 7.1 yards per play. And hey, they've been averaging 25 points a game. When you look on the other side of things for Ottawa, as I said, offensively, it's tough because they were starting to pick up their play as well. Over the last 3, they were scoring 34 points a game with Drew Brown at the helm. And we're 3-0 ATS-wise was this Ottawa squad. Defensively, hey, they've picked it up as well. So expect that defense to pick things up here in this matchup. 53.5 sounds like a big ask between these 2 squads. As I said, the Elks averaging 25 points a game. This Ottawa squad was averaging 34 points a game with Drew Brown at the helm. In home games, they've been only averaging 20 points a game. That number's got me at about 45, 46, and we're getting about 6-7 points on this total. Give me the under 53.5 here Friday night. Elks, Ottawa. All right, that wraps up Friday night's action. Let's head on over to Saturday's doubleheader action here in the CFL. Columbia Lions and the Toronto Argonauts to kick off Saturday's slate. We look at this BC team. Hey, they're starting to pick up their play. Injuries slowed them up a little bit there, but hey, over the last 2-1, 3-0 to the over, 2-1 against that number as well. You can see offensively this Lions squad starting to roll. They're averaging 9.2 yards per play, averaging 487 yards of offense over the last 3 games. And that's equated to 36.7 points per game over the last 3. Against the East team, hey, they've been solid this year as well, has been BC, mustering up over 400 yards of offense and scoring 32 points a game. When you look at this Toronto squad, hey, guess what? They can score offensively as well, especially in home games. They're averaging in their 5 home games this year, 32.4 points a game. Defensively on the road, BC tightens up a little bit, only allowing 337 yards. Allowing 6.9 yards of yards per play, and still allowing 28 points a game is this BC squad. And over the last 3, as I said, their offense have picked it up. And that defense still allowing 7.3 yards a play, still averaging, giving up about 31 points defensively. Same with this Argo squad. They need to tighten up defensively. Over the last 3 games, they've been giving up 38 points a game, 7.3 yards of offense. So I see why this totals up at 55.5. They expect some offense between these two. And I think that's what we get here as well. Both offenses, as I said, can score well into the 30s. So for me here in this one, definitely only one way to go. These defenses aren't the greatest. Arbuckle's starting to pick up his play for the Argonauts and definitely can throw it and score some points here and keep up with this Lions squad that we know can score some points. Hey, BC over the last couple of years off of off of a game where they're in road and non-conference games here where they go the crossover, as they say, 8-1 to the over is this BC squad. And after 4 games where they've been in a hot, scoring plenty of offense, 7.4 yards a play over 4 games, 6-0, averaging at least each team scoring 30. And that's what I got here. I think each team can get to 30 here in this one. And that gets us up and over the total here in this matchup. Sidewise, this is a tough game to pick sidewise. It's almost right there on the number, 3.5, 3 in some places. This is probably going to come down to who's got the ball last, as we've seen in the CFL over the last couple of weeks. Some really close, tight finishes, but give me the over. Lots of offense here on Saturday to get Saturday's doubleheader started. Let's head on over to the night action here in the CFL, where we got the Saskatchewan Roughriders taking on the Calgary Stampeders. The red hot Saskatchewan Roughriders. The rumblings are around Saskatchewan. They're comparing them to Grey Cup teams. Well, wouldn't blame anybody for that at this point, but still early. We're only in week 12 of the season. Need to stay healthy. Need to continue getting better. And that's what Saskatchewan's been doing all year long. 7-2 or 8-1 is their record. 7-2 ATS wise. Over the last 3 games, been lights out defensively, holding teams to under 300 yards of offense, 287.7 to be exact, and that's equated to about 6.3 yards per play. Calgary offensively, last 3 games haven't been the greatest. They've only been able to muster up 20 points, 348 yards of offense, and going against the Saskatchewan squad that definitely knows how to slow up your offense. And their offense definitely rumbling along. Saskatchewan in their road games this year, 8.4 yards per play they've been gaining, and over 400 yards of offense in their road games. Guess what? They're 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the number. Perfect on the season is this Saskatchewan squad out on the road. I don't want to bet against Saskatchewan here, especially in a pick 'em. This feels like a weird line to me. I think Saskatchewan should be favored by a little more here in this one. Give it to Calgary. They've brought it to the CFL this year against the West. They're 4-0 straight up. So something's got to give. Someone's always got to go, as they say. Saskatchewan 4-0 on the road. Calgary 4-0 against the West. But I think Saskatchewan's just playing the better football. Not like what I've seen out of this Calgary offense over the last few games. Is Saskatchewan going to win outright? Don't know if Saskatchewan's going to win every game down the stretch, but I think that defense goes a long, long way here in this one. And we get myself a game that sneaks under the total. 50.5 here, too light here in this one, but lead to an under. But I got to take Saskatchewan here in this one to get the job done. To finish off week 12 here in the CFL. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you that tune into the CFL Week 12 report. Hey, tell a neighbor, tell a friend. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. What do you like here in Week 12 of the CFL action? Thanks, everybody. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Catch you on the next one. Week 13. See you soon.